Welcome to our talk. It's called Honey Monkeys, Chasing Hackers with a Bunch of Monkeys. And yeah, my name is Sebastian Wolfgarten, and this is Christian Piller. We run a website called devtarget.org. There's not much content yet because we're in the process of redesigning everything. But I hope you enjoy this talk, and all the material is going to be available on our website as well. Okay, so we have thought about the following agenda. First of all, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk about traditional honeypots. Then we're going to talk about honey clients, also known as honey monkeys. And later on, I'm going to, or Christian is going to actually show you some case studies before we go on into forensics and finally sum it up. Okay, so yeah, maybe Christian can, yeah, all right.
Okay, that's me. I'm Christian Piller. I'm working as an IT security expert at the European Central Bank at the moment. I'm a former Ernst & Young employee. This is important because we met Sebastian at Ernst & Young. We were colleagues there, and that's how our work together started. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. As said, my name is Sebastian Wolfgarten. I'm currently studying security and forensic computing in Dublin. Before that, I graduated in the University of Stuttgart. And yeah, I'm with Ernst & Young for a couple of years now, and I usually work as a reviewer and author for Addison Wesley and Variety and various other magazines. Yeah, so we go on now the interesting stuff. Okay, so first of all, what is a honeypot? Maybe we can make a little poll. So maybe raise your hand if you don't know what a honeypot actually is. Okay, so 4 people, so that's grand. No, actually, a honeypot is just a system that's there for the purpose of being exploited, attacked, exploited, and obviously compromised. Okay, so the thing is, what would a typical installation of a honeypot in a corporate environment would look like? That's probably it. You can have honeypots basically in every part of your network. You can have it in your LAN. You can have it in your normal client area. You can have it in your DMZ. You can have it everywhere. You can have it even in databases. So, but this time we're not going to talk about honeypots. We're going to talk about a quite new concept, which is called honey clients. So, what is a honey client? A honey client is basically instead of just installing a system which is meant to be scanned, attacked, and compromised, you actively go out, you take a client, let the client send requests to the web and basically surf through websites, and then you analyze what those websites did to your client. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to find out whether a certain website is actually malicious or not. That's actually the purpose. So you want to find, for instance, if you probably have heard about the problem that exists currently with Windows meta files. I think it came out yesterday or maybe the day before. If you go to fsecure.com/weblog, you can read every detail about it. Basically, it's a 0 day for Windows, and there's no patch at all. And people found out about it because they visited basically a malicious website that was just because you visited the website. Your system got infected immediately with the 0 day, okay? And for those purposes, a honey client is actually perfect because a honey client will actually take a list, and we've implemented a software which would do that for you and would visit those websites and analyze what those websites did to your host, okay? So instead of being rather passive, you're actually actively exploring the web for certain vulnerabilities. Okay. So yeah, as I said, you take a list of URLs and you visit them one by one, and do a comparison of what happened to your host before you actually visit the site and afterwards. Okay. Okay. So a little bit of history. Actually, we're not quite sure where the thing actually comes from. The idea was probably invented by Lance Spitzner, who's kind of the god of honeypots. A very interesting book he wrote about honeypots, which is actually called Honeypots, so you should quite read it. I think the real breakthrough was done by people from Microsoft, whose names I really can't pronounce. Those people actually did the Honey Monkey project, and yeah, they claimed that they actually found a 0 day just after a couple of weeks or a month. They deployed the thing, but it's not 100% certain because the thing has been around before, and but they still claimed that the thing is actually was not found by Microsoft. And yeah, maybe one little story before we go on. We asked Microsoft to forward us a list of of URLs. They have, as I said, 800 URLs, which are actually malicious. And we asked them very nicely and several times to provide us with material. And they always said to us simply to fuck off. And that's why we put the following slide in there, just to thank them, basically. And, yeah. So that's our thanks for them for not sharing the material with us, okay? Yeah, so we come to our keep it simple and stupid implementation of a honey client, which will Christian actually present.
Okay, so I don't know if you, or please raise the hand who did not read that honeymonkey white paper from Microsoft. Okay, that's the majority of the people. So in that white paper, Microsoft describes a quite sophisticated system of a honey client. What they did, they had several virtual environments linked to each other. So, for example, firstly, virtual environment containing Windows XP without any patches and service packs. Go to the website and checked if it's malicious or not. And then the same was done by Service Pack 1, and the same was done by the Service Pack 2. So in this way, they could actually determine the exploit used, is it new or not? So if they found out that the latest patch level also gets compromised by the site, then it's at 0 day. So what they did, so they chained those environments. Actually, we did not have the time for it because we are working, and you see this thing is quite new. So what we did is actually a really stupid and simple virtual environment containing Windows XP Service Pack 2. However, our environment and our tool is not bounded to Microsoft, so you can use the same tool because it's written in Perl, also in Linux environments to find exploits in Mozilla and so ever. But of course, we wanted to go first to find out how's it working and to see. And with Windows, you have better chances, of course, than with Linux. So our script is pretty straightforward, and therefore, we did not release it because it's so straightforward that I'm a little bit shaming of myself that it's so straightforward. But can you please? So it's actually nothing else. It's a VMware, a non-persistent image of a VMware Windows XP Service Pack 2. When it starts, and Perl script gets automatically started, which is actually go for a network location, where in the file the target URL is written. So he reads that from there. He makes an image of the system from the registry and from the file system. Gets the URL, starts the browser with that URL, waits a little bit, and then he makes another image of the system and compares it. And of course, if the image before and after is not the same, then we have found something. Also, part of the tool is the script outside, which is actually it's a Visual Basic script, which does nothing else just to look at that network location, and if the results appear in that network location, because the Perl script writes the results back to that share, then he changed the URL in the file, so the next URL will be executed. Okay, and so the typical results of this tool will look like this. This is, for example, the registry changes. You see that, for example, that the logon time, that one registry entry disappeared and the new registry entry gets in, and for the other ones, they are new entries. So what you see is probably a service and the driver got installed. The same is true for the, Sebastian, please. For the file system, you see, for example, here we have a help file somehow appeared on our network on our local drive. You see the HTML file, which is actually the site itself, what you visited, and of course those text files are just temporary files for the tool who is working on it. Okay, how did we test it? Of course, because the tool is is actually not the value. The value, or how you can find malicious websites, is of course the point where are you starting from. If you just start to browse the net, you will probably find a malicious website with a very low chance. But if you are starting from a site, from a malicious site, then of course all links from that malicious sites has a chance being malicious much higher than this. So what we did, actually we did two different runs. We crawled links and structures starting from a porn site, because we were assuming that porn sites are malicious with a high chance, and we did the same with the virus site. Okay, we extracted a large number of links, but of course, since this the checking of the sites are taking time, what we don't have because we have to work, unfortunately. We analyzed only 2,000 of them, which is already 22 hours of pure runtime, and of course the time additionally required for the analysis. So there is a question, for a little surprise, that what do you think the percentage what we found malicious? So I have heard here 20%. Anybody else? 0.1. You said 1? 0.1. 100%. Okay, so the surprise is actually that we have no surprise, sorry for that, because we were asked, we did last year and we were asked this year not to do it. I don't know, so sorry about that. We prepared the slides before that, but it's because we were on the good news is the porn sites are harmless. So this is probably because they will lose clients if they would infect them. For the virus-related sites, it's depending really on where you start, but 1–2% were malicious. Of course, the maliciousness can be in several different nature, and we will talk about this one later. Okay, this is I already talked about one. That this is how we started. We selected the links just by entering in the Google virus and pick up a random site, and we started from there. And we only found Internet Explorer exploits in this time. But since we were browsing with an Internet Explorer, yeah, this doesn't mean a lot. We will try, and in the future, try with Mozilla as well. Okay. Okay, and I get back to Sebastian.
Okay. Yeah, so there's actually many things for us left to be done, and maybe people in the audience get attracted by the idea of honey clients, and maybe you want to join us. What we have to do is, first of all, we have to find more websites that are actually malicious, and especially those websites that will attempt to exploit your system if you're on a Windows system, but also if you're on any other operating system, let's say Linux. I think we're going to see this next year, probably because last year we said, for instance, here at the CCC that malicious software will at some stage try to detect VMware and will try to behave differently when it's running inside VMware, from just preventing you from analyzing it. And later on, we're going to have some case studies where you can actually see that the software behaves differently if you run it inside VMware. So I think this is going to be the same, and we're going to see some exploits targeting both Windows and Linux users next year, probably. Additionally, we need to build a database of websites that are actually malicious. This is actually a big problem because nobody that has done research so far tends to share their results with us. And